at it, guys. Today we're gonna get this car finished. Now I gotta finish over here. All we got left is to finalize the lines in the top. As you can see, the bottom lines are all routed. This was a major pain right here to get these lines to like fit against this properly. I ended up using this like nice D-ring style clamps to hold the lines away from any moving parts, so it will never touch any of the suspension components. I ended up having to obviously route it through here. There's plenty of space between the exhaust. If anything, I might throw some heat shield on it, but I don't think I'll ever need it. This part of the exhaust doesn't get as hot as the downpipe area. It should be okay. I'm really happy how this turned out. I'll probably put a zip tie here just to keep this straight because it's like bothering me. But other than that, it's pretty damn good. And then most importantly, back here, coming back from top of the subframe, we got our nice bulkhead fittings. I was missing one of the Vibram ones over here, so I got this put on. Then I didn't got another nut, so I ended up using the Deatschwerks nut on this one. So now we got all four neatly done. So now we're moving on to the inside of the car. Now we have full matching hardware. So we got black fittings, we got fuel tank return, fuel tank feed, return from engine, and then this one goes to the fuel rail. So we got outlet from fuel pump goes into this fitting, filters through, as you can see the little arrow, it flows that way, then goes to this fitting, then to the engine, and from the engine back around here into one of these three fittings, which is probably gonna be the one right here, and then the fuel pump. Then the stock tank is gonna have two fittings that's gonna have like output and return to keep this bottle filled at all times. That way the pump that's inside this Nuke Performance surge tank always has a constant supply of fuel readily available to supply to the engine. Before we move any further on this, we need to tackle the most important part of this, which is the heart of everything. We got our Deatschwerks 400 fuel pump, which is the thing. It's the same thing that we're running on this and on that and on Adam's other cars. This thing is the best thing, has given us the best results. It outflows any other pump out there, and it will supply enough power for everything I'm ever gonna throw at the car. And the best thing, this Nuke Performance surge tank is designed to run up to 2 of these. I'm only gonna be running 1 for now because I don't need 2 because they're that great. 1 of these flows so much I only need 1. 2 will be kind of overkill. Maybe if I ever need to, I can put another one, but we're only gonna be using 1 for now. Then we got our then we have our hardware right here to have everything that goes inside this fuel pump. It has everything that goes inside the surge tank to hold the pump. We got this cool little bracket that holds 2 of these. Now we got to dissect this, so I believe we're just taking these 3 bolts out and I should be able to pop the top cover off. So Adam, you were saying this makes a really good coffee mug. So then, what do we do with this one? We got all the mugs over here. Here we have all of our products laid out. So I got the top plate. You can see there's 3 terminals. There's 1 ground and 2 powers as they're marked here. So you got shared ground for 2 pumps and then 1 power to each pump. Then you got the outlet right here, which you have 2 inlets from pumps that you can use 2 pumps or 1. So they have 2 fittings and 1 plug depending on your configuration. Then these three fittings are the fuel return from the fuel rail, fuel inlet from the tank, and then fuel outlet to the tank. Over here we have this bracket that holds the two pumps. In this case will be one pump, goes pretty much like this. Then you have a bolt that kind of squeezes down. Then this goes mounted on this shaft like this, which is gonna sit at the bottom part of this bracket like this. So the pump's pretty much gonna go something like this, and you can use two of them. Then we gotta wire our pump. They have some supply terminals that we're gonna put on this, so you got nuts and washers for that. Then the pump also comes with two different hoses. I gotta see which one is the one that fits better on this thing, which will probably be the thicker one. Obviously your supplied super lube that you need to make sure that you lubricate all the O-rings. Almost everything on this is O-ringed, especially this O-ring right here, so you gotta make sure you put some super lube on that. Put your fuel pump strainer on the bottom. But let's go ahead and mount this and see what it looks like. We got our fuel pump assembled. So this is pretty much what it looks like with one pump. I got these nice terminals all done. I think I'm gonna have to obviously move this away from there right now. I didn't see that. There, that's much better now. Now we're good. We got negative, unnegative, positive, unpositive, and then on the pump, they're also labeled on the corner. There you can see the little plus sign right there, and that one goes with the blue wire, which means positive, and black is ground. Very importantly, make sure to lube the O-ring with that super lube, and then we're ready to put this thing back in there. Alright, so we gotta make sure we put this with the logo orientation the same way I had it before. It's gonna go pretty much like this. Note that the hardware that goes on top has a little O-ring with a washer with an O-ring built in it. Make sure you don't replace that with something else, because this is gonna seal the system. If you put a regular washer, you might run into some leaks. There are various configurations to your outputs and inputs. On the output is a -10 O-ring ORB. So I'm gonna be using a -8. So I got a -10 to -8 adapter, because I'm gonna be running a -10 line on this application. Then on the other side ports here, you have -8 O-ring as well, but I'm gonna be using -6. I got -8 to -6 adapters, and this will like be my configuration in the E36, but you can like do so many various things on this thing. It's pretty much limitless. The surge tank is mounted, so it's firmly solid to the chassis, and then the last thing we gotta do over here is to make the new lines to connect everything over here. This is gonna take me a minute. So I gotta make 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So I'm gonna be using the Vibrant Performance E35 hoses with the red striping on them, as well as the Dash 8 one. I just finished with the injector wiring. I had to replace the pigtails because these injectors have a different pigtail the injector plug than the ones that I had. So they're all done now. I already set this up because obviously as soon as I fill up the system with fuel, I'm gonna have to adjust the fuel pressure for adjust my base pressure around 50 psi. So we got Nuke Performance fuel rail, Dash 8 Vibrant lines, Deatschwerks regulator, Deatschwerks injectors. We got the flex fuel sensor down there for ECU master. Then moving on to the back. Wait, are you guys ready to see this? This thing looks pretty damn good. I love how it came out. I'm actually pretty excited how this thing came out. Let's check it out. Alright, I may have forgotten to cut the zip ties, and they still like the whole zip tie is still there. I ended up using this pretty cool like fuse box thing. So it's a nice fuse holder. Very serviceable. I also got those new glow fuses, so if in case one of them blows up, then it'll just light up and indicate that that fuse is blown. I have a spare, that way I have 2 circuits already set up, that way in case it goes bad, all I gotta do is just switch the power from the other one to the other relay and it's good to go. That way also, if I ever mount a second fuel pump, I already have it all pre-wired for that. This one is the ground for the other relay, so that's why I don't have it hooked up so it doesn't do anything. But then I just literally just plug this, then run a wire from here to the positive of another pump, and it's good to go. And the E36 is alive now. It's idling. It took a minute because these are 1500cc injectors, so it was kind of a lot harder and more sensitive to tune. I set my base pressure at 43 psi, and there goes the surgeon again. I hate when he does it. It's so hard to tune. But moving over here, I had to redo my whole map, so it's kind of like this generic thing now. Kind of like working on it. I'm still trying to smooth all this out. I'm just trying to look for a way for it to idle properly. My AFRs are around 15 or 14, then sometimes like stabilize is at 13ish, so I'm still working on that. Over here you can faintly hear the surge tank. It's so nice that it's actually very quiet, just this faint little whining noise instead of just a big vibration noise like a race car. So it's a race car but quiet. Then I didn't find any leaks. So far so good. I still gotta put the lids back on the stock tank service ports. Then I should just put it back on the left for now because I gotta do other things today, which you guys will be seeing on the next video. So I'm gonna cut it out here. I'm pretty satisfied with building this thing. I did not get a chance to install the catch can yet, so I'm definitely gonna have to do that on another video, but that's coming up next.